Oh, hi guys, Dan here, Camaro Talk, DD Speed Shop. So I just did the last video where we kind of finished up on this thing a little bit, and I said I was done with it while I waited on parts, and that is in fact the case, but a few new things have transpired since then, and I thought I'd just kind of do it. At this point, I'm going to be waiting on parts for kind of a little bit, and versus maybe just doing like a video here and there, I think I want to wait till I get a bunch of stuff and then really jam on this thing pretty hard, because it should come together pretty hard. It'll be a lot of work, but yeah. Tow truck dollies, we don't need no stinking trailer. So where we left this, the car kind of looks like it's something, and ultimately I ran into a situation where I had run out of parts both in the front of the car and the back of the car. So in the front of the car, the subframe has to be welded. I have all that stuff taken care of, so that's good. And then I just recently ordered disc brakes and control arms and stuff like that. I found stuff real cheap, so you couldn't say no to it. So it's gonna have tubular control arms, generic kind of GM single piston floating deal, discs, but it's gonna be power brakes, so we'll do that. Rock Auto has my number, so I got tie rods. I think that's all I got from them, maybe, because everything else can be brand new. And some adjusting sleeves, little stuff like that. So when I get all that in stock, then the front end will come apart. We'll weld up subframe, clean it, probably POR it, do whatever, make it look kind of nice, do the firewall, put that back together. Mint on that. We're still waiting on body panels back here. So again, full quarters should be here in another week or 10 days. All about when the ships and the trains move, but we're waiting on that. And as well as inner wheel tubs. So there's not really any point in doing anything until I have all of that, because we'll cut all that out, fit the wheel tubs, and then we have to fit the quarters to the tubs as well, so everything kind of jives together. So you have to have it all. I also ordered some stuff for the spring pockets. I ordered front ones so I can do that. It looks like they're just in some sort of a subframe metal-y type thing, so we'll weld in there if we have to, and then I'll put new pockets in, and then out back. It looked okay. Worst case, I can plate the sides of the frame, which I think I'll do anyways just for extra strength. And if it all goes completely to hell, I get all my sheet metal through Walker Auto locally here. He has frame rails in stock ready to go, so I can buy a set of those and slap it together. So that wasn't a whole lot of big dollars. I'm not gonna lie, we're into this car pretty cheap. It came with everything you see here with it. The front brakes and control arms and all, I think were $700. And so that's pretty mellow. Quarters were $400 or something like that, $400 or $500 a piece. Wheel tubs, I forget what they were, and that's kind of about it. So not a whole lot of dollars spent. So that's that. So honestly, I think we'll have this car on the road. It'll be well under $10,000 if we were going to cheap out. But now, because we're not into this thing for that much money, I spent a few dollars. And going through the parts of what I have and kind of what I want this car to be. So I know I've asked a bunch of times. Oh, and I still have to make a trip out to Saskatoon because it came with a bunch more parts. It came with grill, headlight stuff, trim, seats, wheels, 2 different cowl hoods. One's fiberglass, one was steel. Interior bits and pieces, dash stuff, like all sorts of more things. So I think I'll do okay. And we also have that 68 we can pillage some parts off of. So even though the car kind of looks together, it's very far apart, but I think we have everything we'll need to put it back together. Then, honestly, I looked, Speedway has a full interior kit, headliner, door panels, seat covers, the whole deal for $1,000. So if we want to go bougie, we could, but that's down the road. What was I talking about? It's come back to me. Driveline. So I asked your guys' opinion, and everybody had every option out there. And, there was a lot of good answers. A big block car, stuff like that. I have a plan. We're going to work on, this winter we have some big projects, obviously the Camaro, and that 57 in the other garage, which is just turned into a storage shelf. We're going to have to work on that right away here. Those are pretty big projects, need a lot of work, a lot of time. And then MERS Bricklin will sprinkle in there here and there. But come spring, we're gonna have lots of, hopefully just stuff we can kind of have fun with and enjoy cars and do little things here and there. So when it came to having a big block, I have a 71 Nova that I built before the channel, and we've had it on there a few times, but I want to build it proper. You know, we have a few dollars. I have some more stuff to it. It's currently a big block. It's got a Muncie 4-speed, and it's got a 12-bolt rear end. I actually body worked it. I was going to paint it nice and everything, and kind of lost interest right at the old end zone, the classic DD Speed Shop as we call it. But that'd be a really good car to do some nice things with, and I think we probably will. So with that, if we give it a kind of a, you know, sympathetic refurbishment, you know, a little bit of speed parts, I have a different rear end for it, yada yada, we'll end up basically having this car with a different body on it as a big block 4-speed 12-bolt. I don't think I need two. We've really taken a step back, and we're kind of making a few different categories of cars. We have a lot right now, like too many. And we have like highway cars, reliable city cars, and then pure garbage, which this is the bigger pile of cars. But I want this one to fit into like reliable city. There's no need to have another highway car. We have 2 Nomads, bougie. We have that wagon, if we ever finish that, has overdrive. Danny's car has a 3.0 gear in it. There's a gear vendor sitting behind Danny, and behind the pile of radiators. I store it nicely. So we have that as well, so I can go in any turbo 350 transmission. And finally, actually what I want to do, my black 57, which I just kind of daily drive. It's not on the channel a whole lot. But if I take that 12-bolt rear end out of that Nova I was talking about, it'll be a 3.0 gear, and it'll be a highway car as well. So city cars, I want this to be one of them. Same with like Danny's car, be a city car.
You have to be specific now. I have so many cars.
You do have a lot of cars. Actually, your freaking Caprice, another highway car. But so anyways, you have all that. So this is gonna be a city car. So that's the way the drive line is gonna go. Overdrive is expensive. Like, it's, oh my God, expensive. It is phenomenal. And if you only have 1 or 2 cars, I would highly recommend it. And it bridges the gap between having like a city car and a highway car all together, which is pretty cool. But for this, I mean, I'm going to drive this to work, you know, pound around here and there. If we drive out an hour out of town, it'll be buzzy on the highway. It's going to be what it's going to be. So I pulled the trigger on a motor just a couple nights ago, did some horse trading. So Corvette John, he's the same guy that built the 327 that was in Danny's car, which extremely happy with that thing. It's got 5,000 trouble-free miles on it or whatever it is. You know, you can't drive a solid lifter 327 tunnel ram gasser across the country. You can, it's fine. The motor's great, and I want another one. So we're gonna do the same deal in this, but it's gonna be a 350, 355 maybe, I don't know, whatever. 10-to-1 compression kind of deal, solid lifter, pretty snotty little motor. I was going back and forth of, do I want something a little more tame, or do I want something a little more extreme? And as per usual, I started off down here and ended up here. So we'll do that. I have, what are you doing here? Are you judging me? I have, so it's gonna be that. I don't know if I have the tunnel ram out here still. Yeah, I got the single 4 tunnel ram. So we got that. This can go on it. That'll be pretty sweet. And we have this Holley XP650. I'm really good at keeping parts organized, but that on top of a you know, pretty high winding, you know, decent little small block solid lifter deal, be awesome. I also have a Super T10 transmission, so that's in stock, ready to go. So that'll be the combination. Now where I have to spend money is clutch, flywheel, scatter shield. So I'm a believer in scatter shields. I think
scatter shield?
Where the motor and transmission join, there's like a coupler basically, and it's where the clutch and all that is. And a regular bell housing is like cast aluminum or something like that, and if the clutch explodes, it'll blow through that, whereas a scatter shield will hold the scatter. So it's, you know, saves your ankles when the clutch explodes. I think I want to spend a few dollars at there. So really, we're not into it a whole lot of money at this point, so now it's time to spend money on fun parts. I think I want to do aluminum flywheel and a pretty honky-tonkin', I was gonna say heavy duty, both clutch.
Honky-tonkin'.
We're gonna do all mechanical stuff, I think mechanical linkage, because this already has pedals. I had a bunch of stuff for the Nova. I might have more. If not, it was super cheap to buy. I think I think I got off Speedway. I think OER had it all the linkage and everything, the Z-bar and bell crank. It was super easy to put in. So that'll be dialed together. The rear end then, I don't know what's in there. You guys have told me anything and everything. It's clearly not a factory Camaro deal. And we're borrowing Danny's parts.
Pardon?
Thank you, dear.
No, pardon?
So, well, kind of yes and no. So when we put that Chevy 2 together for you, we had a 12 bolt or a 9-inch in it, Speedway 9-inch, and I originally ordered it with a 389 or whatever, 390 gear, and we were going to run that overdrive in it, but then none of that happened because we ran out of time, so we put a 3.0 gear in it, so it's got a highway gear. After playing with it, that car was great, and it was fairly sporty for what it was. It needs more torque converter and it needs a lot more gear in it. And if we're gonna go with a lot more gear, and that thing likes to rev, like clearly after driving it. So they were gonna put different gear in your car, especially if you wanna go racing. You'll need like a 456 or 410 or something like that gear. So we gotta buy another center section anyways.
So I'll have what I need and then you'll use.
You always have what you need. So anyways, we have a spare 390 gear sitting around. So that's great. So all we need is the case and axles for a 9-inch. And the center section is kind of the expensive part. Being it's a Camaro, like they make ready to go bolt-in kits. So we'll have to look around there and see what that would cost. And then depending on what we get, we can probably adapt existing brakes on it or whatever and be out of it pretty cheap. I was looking, I mean, an axle housing with axles in it was like $1,000, something like that. So you really can't go wrong at that price, the way I see it. So at that point, it will be, I said, pretty decent. Like we're talking probably 400 horse plus minus, small block, Super T10, and a Ford 9-inch out back with like a 390 gear. Should be a pretty sporty little hot rod. Factory GM disc brakes up front, nothing crazy there. We'll have power steering, power brakes on it. Whatever the interior is going to be, it had a deluxe interior, but obviously that's since been weathered away. And kind of go from there. So that's where we're at. I think it'll be a really, really, really fun car. I'm actually excited. I'm concerned I'm not going to fit in it. A lot of people tell me I'm going to be too Sasquatch for it, but worst case, we'll bolt the seats all the way back and it'll be my car and no one will, if you want to be in the back, sorry, it'll be tight. So that is the plan. Really, we're waiting on everything across the board, which is just kind of life right now. So another reason it's great to have a couple of projects on the go. I'm thinking the front end will probably be here next week if I'm lucky, give or take like everything, not just little bits and pieces, because like I said, I had to get rock auto, brakes, actually already glass, that all had to come with it as well. So there's all sorts of things to do there. I'd like to get that taken care of. Talking to John, they're taking that motor apart, it's going to the machine shop as we speak, and they're going to sick week. So depending on when this video comes out, it's either on or right before it. So then it's a pause situation for 2 weeks, but really they have all the stuff needed to slap that sucker back together. Gotta make my phone calls for, like I said, scatter shield, clutch, all that. I want all that ready to go. We will have to pull a transmission. So when I say that transmission's in stock, what I meant to say was it is in the Healy in the backyard with cover in snow. So you'll probably see that on more schmoo. The chaos of trying not to rip, and I'm sure it's sitting on the ground, fiberglass frozen to the ground, and we have to take that all off to get a motor and transmission out. Of which actually, yeah, it'll be a disaster. But anyways, we'll do that. We got to get a shifter, all those sort of things. And then a rear end, we got to pick who we want to order it from, and hopefully that's in stock. I know that can be, 2 to 4 weeks out, depending on what's going on. But at the very least, it's still a roller because there's a diff in it, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then, yeah, what we want to do for traction bars and all that sort of stuff. But I think this will be a pretty stout little car. And I'm thinking I might want to paint it. What? I really like the blue. I'm not a blue guy, but I really like the blue. So.
Wait, do you mean like real paint?
Thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I know, right?
Two Nomads has changed you.
What can I say? But we'll have no money in this thing. I honestly think it'll be, I mean, it won't be $15,000. It'll be quite a bit less. So for a Camaro, I mean, and really it's a car I think it'd be worth a few bucks. I don't know what a Camaro's worth, but I gotta say a painted, running, driving kind of nice car's got to be worth 30, you know, or more. And we'll go from there. I really like the blue. I've been looking at Camaros left and right. I kind of like the base model nose, so no hidden headlights or anything, just base model. I ordered the deck lid with no holes in it. I don't think I want to run they have a little spoiler. Don't want that. No fake SS. Just leave it as is. And I kind of like when they have the blue with a white stripe painted around the nose like that. That's my current vision. That being said, it may end up exactly like this, a bunch of black panels with a blue top, and we'll drive it that way and kind of carry on from there. But I thought I'd just give you a little update because I don't know when we're going to get back to this. All of it depends on the mail. I have been looking, everything was in stock that I ordered, and I talked to all sorts of good people, so they were all over it. But being way up north, everything takes a little longer to get here than I would like, so a couple weeks, but I think it'll be a really cool car when it's done. I'm really excited about it. I know you guys have been enjoying it. That's why I want to do a little update, because I didn't want to tease anybody and be like back-to-back videos and all of a sudden it just goes away. We do have lots of other stuff to work on. So yeah, enjoy 57 Chevy content and probably some Bricklin stuff, and then who knows what else we're doing. But that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you have any comments or questions or advice actually about that combination, feel free to let me know. Rear suspension wise, oh, Murr was giving me attitude. This thing has mono leafs, and he seems to think the mono leafs were terrible, and everybody went to a 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it is leaf pack. But when I look at the performance stuff, a lot of it is mono leaf. So I'm thinking like mono leafs with a set of Caltrax is probably fine, but I'm sure all you Camaro guys would know better than me. Otherwise, basic setup. I have an aluminum radiator for it. I bought it off Facebook many years ago. There's a guy that's got inner wheel tubs. He wants, they're black powder coated, and he wants half price of retail for them. They haven't been installed, so I'll be buying those. And yeah, odds and ends, it has all the glass. Broken windshield we gotta change. Somebody broke it. In my defense, I didn't have tow dollies when we were trying to move it, and that was the problem. Anywho, that's
It wasn't, but we'll see the evidence of that.
Well, yeah, whatever. Well, that's where we're leaving it. So Camaro on pause for a week or two. And then, like I said, if we get all the parts, I want to just go on this thing until I'm sick of it. And before you know it, it'll be spring, and we'll be doing all sorts of other stupid things with stupid hot rods. Thanks for watching.